Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm just getting into the elite game at the moment. Ordinarily I'd get all this over with before I even start the stream, but I just want to check that everything's working alright, because things seem to be kind of slow here in terms of frames per second. I've been messing around with some of the settings on this stream, and I think perhaps I might need to put things back to the way they used to be because this is super slow in terms of frames per second. Let me see, what can I do? Stream bitrate. Audio stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. What? That'd change the video resolution. Ugh, these things. Let's see what I can do here. Good job. I did plan on starting this a little earlier than what I'm expecting in terms of when I need to be observing this collision between the two gas giants, which is what this stream's all about, the collision between the gas giants Rhubarb and Custard, because I wasn't quite sure how this stream would run. So at the moment I'm getting some errors from YouTube, because this time ordinarily I just stream to YouTube straight from Streamlabs OBS. This time round I set it up as a scheduled thing, so I set it up from the YouTube side, which is why some things are different, because I was following some instructions on that. Now then, what can we do here? What can we do here? Can we make edits to the stream during the stream itself, like for the resolution, for example? Because I'm thinking I might need to do this in a lower resolution. Because it's still telling me the current resolution is 1280 by 720. And the expected resolution is 1920 by 1080, in other words 1080p, but the thing is that in Streamlabs I actually set the resolution to 1080 after starting the stream because of that. So also the audio, I can't change that without restarting, so hopefully the audio is okay and hopefully the video is acceptable. I mean, it looks okay to me, so unless I hear otherwise in the chat, I will assume that in actual fact it is okay. And just try and keep an eye on things. Okay, so Oh, that was a bit bright at first. Right. Yes, so here we are in KOI 413 on my Canon Associates fleet carrier. So thanks to Node for giving me a lift here to the system. Let's launch ourselves out of the Opal of the Abyss. It's slightly bizarre because that wasn't actually what the fleet carrier was called when I docked on it, but he did warn me. I say he, I don't know, Node might be a he or a she. I've never actually checked that. So he, she or they have renamed it, but they did warn me, so I'm not like disoriented by the fact that it's Opal of the Abyss now. So let's go find those gas giants. Ooh. It's dark out here.
You have liftoff.
It's bizarrely dark. I'm used to a lot more stars around. What's going on here?
Landing gear retracted.
Why is it so dark? Why are there so few stars? That is really disconcerting and spooky. I wasn't expecting that. So quite a few fleet carriers have turned up for the event. Sylphid, don't forget your limpet. Onlyfans.bino. Steve the carrier. Yes, right. Of course, all the planets are showing as unexplored because I didn't fly in myself. There's more Hamburglar, Pantheon of Hallow Nest, all these kids in a butchie, whatever. Right, so let's... Oh my goodness, though. Let's, so black. That over there is very blue. This is interesting. Let's just have a little look round. Well, whoa! Okay. Oh dear me. They're right behind me. Let's not go into Super Cruise then.
You have now departed the no-fire zone. We'll see you soon, Commander.
So these are the gas giants. Rhubarb and Custard. Although I have to say, Custard's looking a lot more pink than I remember seeing it in the photographs. Let's try and get into a good position to view this from. Wow. I mean, I could go into Super Cruise, I suppose.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Right. Have they already begun colliding yet or not? I've got a feeling like maybe they have. They're already colliding, aren't they? I think they're already intersecting one another. Look at that. Oh no. Well, I couldn't have got here any sooner. Seriously. I was like practically running out of sewing class today. Wow. So, yeah, look at that. Look at that. They're already colliding. Like head on? Just like we were promised. Head on collision. Not a slight collision. I wonder, are they gonna like just completely pass through each other like that? Okay, so this is a pretty good place to view things from. Gonna take an exterior camera view now. Yeah. My ship keeps getting further away, but the planets don't feel like they're getting any smaller or further away. It's kind of weird. Why don't I feel like I'm actually getting further away from the planets? Oh well. I'll just take a photograph of that. Surprised there aren't more people in this instance, but there you go. I still felt it was safer to use the private group than the open server, because, I mean, open games are just full of bad people, toxic players that probably would just go, oh, lots of people are probably going to go to this one system to see this thing happen, let's just go there and blow them all up. So, I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. Right. Wow. I don't know why I'm shaking like that. What's causing that to happen? Well, that was weird. Yeah, you can sort of still see where they're like intersecting each other there, and then the other bit's just completely inside. You can even see them moving into each other very slowly, but you can actually see it. Wow. On the one hand, I kind of wish like I had been here to sort of see it happening from the beginning, but on the other hand, moving at this speed, it would be like watching a whole eclipse. It would take quite the time. It's funny, I come out and I'm looking all around and it's like I look over my shoulder and they're right behind me. That was kind of funny. Oh, there's another player. That little open box, there's another actual human being player. Let's see who they are. Oh, where are they gone? They're getting closer. I don't like that shakiness that's going on. How are they getting that close to the planets without hitting the exclusion zone? Let's see who it is. Oh, it's Fulgen. Hello, Fulgen. See if I can figure out how to say hi in the chat. That seems to have worked. Oh. Now, some of my fellow cannoneers are doubtless going to be getting very close and taking measurements and all that sort of good stuff, like good scientists. But I'm not. I'm just doing this live stream so that people that couldn't make it will be able to see this spectacular phenomenon, and just basically document it without taking any fancy measurements. Sort of feels a bit like how I imagine commentators at like royal weddings and things must feel like. And they've just got to like stand there while everything goes past, and and entertain the viewers at home and talk them through it all. Except this isn't like parades of obscure members of the royal family travelling down the mall. This is two huge balls of gas. Speaking of which, I mean, I've never even been to this system, but most of the bodies in it are still showing up as undiscovered. But 1 and 2, which presumably are these planets here. So let's just have a look on here. So this is our system map, and there's Custard, and there's Rhubarb 1 and 2. Let's have a look in the orrery view. How do we get orrery view nowadays? Oh, there we go. Orrery view. Duh. Check that out. Look at all the people here. Kinda cool. Now it's pretty cool seeing them close up like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fly past, and then I'm going to fly a bit further out so that we can see it from a distance and get some distant perspective on it. You can still see the parts that are obscured inside with those lines there. I wonder what something like this would actually look like in real life. I mean, if two gas giants collided in real life, presumably they'd just sort of merge. They'd stop being separate planets. There's no reason for them to continue to be separate planets, and they would just become one huge gas giant and potentially become so massive that they became like a brown dwarf or something. I don't know. Right. So if we want to get a bit further away, this system is so black though. So few stars out here. just going to go to free camera again. I think they're more than halfway through each other now. This is pretty impressive. Looks like a giant peach. I'm surprised they're not called peach and rhubarb, to be honest. I don't know, maybe there are times of the year when custard looks a little less pink and a little more yellow. I'm not sure. Soon blur toggle. Blur. Focus down. I'm not sure about that. Let's turn that off. Have to get to know about that, play around with it a bit. Oh, it's interesting. This is all looking dark now. Anyway. Oh, around the dark side. It's not as impressive from the dark side. No, definitely not as impressive from the dark side. Back to the light side again. Yeah, I'm thinking that's about 50% penetration at least. Try and get some distance so I can take it all in one go. Oh, that's a weird view. You see I've got a haircut. Although my character's still lagging behind me because I had to shave my beard off the other day so I could get a tight fit on my respirator. Even though in the end I didn't end up using it. View of the empty... Alright, that looks like we've got far enough away. That's what I wanted to be able to see from behind. Right. Ah! Right, that wasn't. Right. And there they are. Oh, do slow down. I got far too fast. I wonder what would happen if I tried to DSS scan them while they're like that. While they're like half collided into each other. Let's see. So, this probably won't work, but you don't know till you try. It really is quite pretty. Need to get plenty of photographs. Right. Let's see how we get on. Oh, there's tons of messages in the local chat. I need to figure out how to view the messages in the local chat. Okay. Yeah, so basically I'm scanning. I wasn't even sure at first which one I'm scanning. I'm scanning custard. um, and can I scan it through rhubarb? And the answer is yes, I can. The probes don't appear to take into effect the fact that there's actually another planet in the way, which is a little unrealistic. Oh, that's bad probe placement, I think. Not so bad. Not a hanging offence, as they say. So when you look at the wrong side of custard, of course, rhubarb, we're still looking at the right side, which is interesting.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Bizarre. I mean, these things don't even have a surface, that's kind of the point. Wonder why it's taken the word observers. It's starred out part of the word observers. Weird. You can barely read the word system in the chat there. They really need to sort the brightness out on the HUD. Yeah, that's the thing. It looks like a peach. It looks like a peach. It's really hard to see what you're doing there with half the planet being in there. Let's try this. 62% scanned. Just guess what we're doing here. If you just joined, I wanted to see whether it was possible to DSS scan a planet when half of it's inside another planet. And the answer is yes, it is possible, although it's very difficult because you can't really see what you're doing. Did that help at all? Slightly. Slightly. Can't really see which bits haven't been covered and which bits have been. Slight improvements. This might get it. This might get it. Ooh, quite. I'm going to assume that's going to fix that.
Surface scan complete.
I'm probably going to wish that I hadn't done that now because I've spoilt it with that grid. I definitely don't want to map the other one then. Well, I had to do it in the interest of seeing whether or not it was possible. It's rather spoiled the aesthetics, but we did get a good view of it before at least. They're almost completely collided now. Trying to figure out how to get the new giant gas. There we go. Yeah, I'll skip a each, please. It's interesting though, because now we've got this like wiggly woggly line, whereas before we didn't have. And on the other side you can just see the internal line there of how far Custard has gone into Rhubarb, and you can see the line changing in real time there. That's fantastic. Wow, yeah. Oh, the speed at which they move does alter, and then we'll be able to watch it come out the other side, of course. Here we go, here we go. It's actually helped me see what's going on here a bit better. And then it's coming out the other side. There you go. Pretty much immediate. Yeah. So this one we didn't get to see the orange and the pink switching sides, or the blue grids and the pink switching sides, so apologies for that. I couldn't let my curiosity hold me back. I should have really thought about that. Then again, I mean, it's the only way to find out. It's the only way to answer the question of can you DSS scan a planet when it's inside another planet? Really? I mean, if you ever want an answer to that question, then you kind of need a situation like this. So, might not make the stream as pretty as perhaps otherwise, but it means at least I've done a little bit for science. Yes, that is not something you will see every day. And the line there, the terminator line between the two. If you switch to combat mode, it goes away. Well, there we go. Ha! Thanks for that, Filxian. So the line between the custard and the rhubarb planets was all wiggly woggly when they were very close together, and then I suppose it gets straighter and straighter the closer it gets to the equator, and then the more tightly curved it is, the more sort of uneven it gets. Yeah, I think only a brown dwarf star. I could finish scanning the other one. of course. No. Oh no. Right. Wait, let me. There we go. Wouldn't let me target two because of the way that it works. It treats one as being in front of the other, even though it's not quite how it is. Well, oh no, that's not what I meant to do. Never mind that. I meant to do. Oh, I meant to do this. Yeah. We'll scan rhubarb, and then I can just go into combat mode to turn it off, so I don't have to see it. Quite a bit closer now, so I'm used to scanning at a particular distance, really. So I think if I get closer than my optimal distance, my scanning efficiency is adversely impacted. This is the hard part. Okay. Alright. Selling tickets home. I'm not going to be going home after this. I'm going to be heading out into the black. It's like getting a leg up on my outward exploratory trip.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Only 50%. Getting these last parts is the trickiest, and you can't really see which bits are missing. Just gonna see what it's probably something like that. I really don't know. If it would happen to a landable planet, one hopes that the terrestrial planets aren't dealt with in this same way, that would literally collide with each other. and just go crunch, and then that like pass through each other in an entirely unrealistic manner. At least with it being gas giants, you can kind of semi-believe it might work. Although really, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the last percentage points of this. Might have to come back to it once they're a bit further apart. Yeah, I'm going to come back to it after the further apart. I've only got 2 probes left for the efficiency bonus. Right, let's see them again in all their glory. Hmm. Habitable moons. Right. So, I think they're almost out as far as they were when I first started the stream. So to get from that spot to the equivalent on the other side has taken, how long has it taken? Approximately 53 minutes. Not quite 53 minutes, but around 53 minutes. It's sort of similar to watching a solar eclipse, only a little bit faster. Just kind of cool. Still can't really see which parts are and which parts aren't. Oh wait, that's a bit better. I can see which parts on the far side haven't been mapped now, so oh, not quite. No. Oh well, this should go through. This should go through the other planet, so shouldn't it? No. Interesting. Treats that outer edge like it's actually the outer edge of this planet. So you do have to like curve around both of them, I think. I'm probably not going to get my my efficiency bonus here, but I don't really care. What was that? That's actually landed on K1. Well, that's interesting then. So it can land on the other planet. Right. Well, that's answered that question then. Oops. Oh, whoops. Oh, never mind. Well, that's definitely blown it. Hang on. Yeah. Reasons I don't fully understand. When I was doing 1, it seemed that the probes were going through 2. But when I was doing 2, it didn't seem that the probes were going through 1. They actually landed on the surface of 1. And the whole idea of landing probes on the surface of a gas giant planet is a bit weird anyway. But you just have to roll with the inconsistencies, I suppose. It is a game, not real life, even though a lot of what we can do in the game is part of our real lives, because we're spending our time playing it. But check out this whole area of space though. Look how dark it is. What's that blue thing over there, I wonder? Might be another planetary nebula. And there's our old friend, Cupid's arrow, I believe, over there. Oh, I made myself a cup of coffee and forgot to drink it. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of lukewarm now. Warm coffee. A lot of people are just saluting in. These people still here? Have they left? I do not know. Capy Sun's logged off. Landable planets collide at LRB SJB B4210 system. Oh, better make a note of that. Ghost Drift apparently did a video with a planet passing through a ring. Oh, I bet that worth watching. That did happen to landable wings too. You get yeeted into space if you're in an SRV. Well, well, well. So that's how you go flying through space in an SRV, is it? Land on a landable moon that's gonna make a collision with another landable moon. I've seen some that look like they're gonna do that at some point, but then it's not necessarily because the orbits intersect so much as they look to me like they were so tight they should decay, but I don't know whether an orbit that should decay in the game actually would. I mean, I've done some playing around with Universe Sandbox in the past. I used to like playing around with my Universe Sandbox, and I built a system once, and that system that my YouTube's telling me at once that my stream is healthy and that it's got an error and it's poor health. It's like it can't make up its mind what resolution I'm sending in. That's weird. Anyway, as I was saying, Universe Sandbox, I set up a system, and I had some planets with moons around them, sort of like Saturn type planet with some moons going round it. And I ran the simulation, and after a few 100,000 years, I think, a couple of the moons basically just crashed into each other. Because actually setting up a stable solar system is much harder than you might think. You've really got to get the sizes and the distances absolutely spot on, otherwise orbits degrade, collisions occur. What was a pretty planet with 14 moons ends up as a planet with 5 moons and a lot of asteroid belts. Yeah, I'm caught up on all the chat. Guess I won't know until I watch this video back whether or not the problems were severe or not. Hopefully they weren't. I suppose we might as well finish trying to map this. Try and get it. Hopefully. No, not quite. No. Normally a lot better at mapping planets,
Surface scan complete.
It's interesting, that last little bit of the when they were just going into each other and where one was passing through, going from one side to the other, it was a lot faster, and then once they get to this stage they're moving slower, which is interesting. So from this angle, the part here that's in front is smaller than the part of here that's behind. Probably to do with the angle. If I sort of flew round back so that I was in line with the sort of the vertex between the two, then they'd probably even out again. Start thinking about where I'm going to go when I've finished observing this. I mean, obviously I'll finish surveying this system. Oh, hold on. What is this? Find telepresence crew. Join another ship. One pending friend request. Texas Terry. Oh, oops. Right. Never seen this before. There we go. Don't know who Texas Terry is, but hello Texas Terry. Didn't even see that. Oops. That's how frequently I actually meet another human being in this game. I mean, that's one that's not trying to sort of blow you up. Which is why I stopped playing in open at all, ever. A couple of times I thought, oh, let's try going to a combat zone in open. That'll be more fun because there'll be other human beings there and won't just be me versus the NPCs. But then you had people that were like just blowing you up as soon as you left a space station before you could even get to a combat zone. Or other people that would just attack you before you'd even pledge to a side. So you could have been somebody that wanted to fight on the same side as them, but a lot of people were like, who cares about sides, I'm just here to blow people up. So, anyway. This stream wasn't for the purpose of me just ranting generally about Elite. It's a special stream just for the collision of the planets. So, I hope you're finding this super planet collision entertaining. More entertaining than a royal wedding, I would have thought. I think we're getting a bit close to them now, so we're like fly a bit further away so we can view them from a distance and get it all in. And this time we won't get too fast. Fly out to about 2 light seconds, I think. Maybe. or maybe just 1 light second. Let's see. That's a bit better. And once they've separated, they'll be on their merry way again and heading off. All in all, this has gone quite well. Yeah, our actual contacts in range. What? Bounty by the forge? How did I pick up a bounty? What did I do? I didn't do anything. What the heck? That was not there before. That is bizarre. I don't understand it. That was the last system that I was in. A bounty, not even a fine. A bounty. That's a humongous bounty. There's no way I should have a bounty that size. I've done nothing. Nothing. Sometimes I pick up fines every now and again. I need to have a word with someone here. Yeah. That's a nice. I'm not sure what that's all about. I don't think that bounty ought to be there. um, I'm gonna need to have a word with somebody, possibly pick up a support ticket over this, because genuinely have no idea how that happened. In fact, why don't I have a look in my event log here and just see if there's any kind of explanation whatsoever. Sorry about this, gas giant fans. I just want to get to the bottom of this mystery. So, session log. Yeah. So, all normal stuff. Travel variety. Travel to variety. Mission update at variety. Travel to ship maintenance. I mean, that wasn't even. That's the thing. The last few sessions, I wasn't even. I wasn't even in the system that was run by the Forge. I was in Variety, and Variety's run by Canon. Session update. Yeah. Okay. Rank increases. There we are. That's what we've been doing today. Yep. Anyway. Here it goes. So, gigantic bounties far in advance of anything I've ever legitimately had placed on me. Now, the biggest bounty I've ever had legitimately placed on me, not when the game's bugged and just created one, which happened with the first system that you logged into on Odyssey. We all picked up like 140,000 credit bounties for some unknown reason, and then Frontier spotted that and got rid of them. So the only legitimate bounty I've ever had, the worst I've ever had, is 1,000 credits worth of bounty for infringing on no-fly zones. You know, I'm not the sort of person that flies around murdering people in systems with law enforcement. Legitimately assassinating pirates and collecting bounties, yes. Murdering innocent people in such a way that I would get a bounty on myself, no. Pirates typically open fire first anyway. Try and get into a nice spot to see them part again, because of course part of the joy of watching a head-on collision is seeing them come apart again at the end. It's slightly annoying that one can't just stop. Then again, I mean, I could drop out of Super Cruise. I'm gonna do that, I'll just drop out of Super Cruise. There we go, that's like almost having stopped, isn't it? That'll do for now. Cool. I mean, this ship is pretty defenceless because I've put everything over onto my lowest weight for exploring configuration, so no hard points, extra heat sinks, no mining gear. See if there's any new Galnet news.
NMLA makes political overtures. The Marlinism Reformation Party, which now represents the neo-Marlinist fringe, has suggested a peace deal between the NMLA and the Empire. Minister Aaron White explained the proposal during a session of the Marlinist Parliament. Via anonymous intermediaries, we have received assurances that the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army is keen to take advantage of our representation. I see this as a hugely positive step that will prevent further conflict. In essence, the NMLA is offering reparations for the unfortunate casualties of its anti-authority activities within the Empire. In return, it requests a permanent presence in the Imperial Senate as a means of continuing political dialogue. Many other parliamentarians considered the proposal to be highly controversial. Minister Octavia Volkov declared, providing the NMLA with a political wing, pretending they are reasonable people, suggesting they could pay off the families of everyone they've murdered. White, you are an insult not just to Marlinism but to all humanity. First Minister Jenna Fairfax called for unity, insisting that the Marlinist colonies must stand together to ensure their survival. However, she has officially requested that the Marlinism Reformation Party reverses its stance on negotiating with the NMLA. Corporatists stalled by Jupiter Division's defeat. The fall of Jupiter Division has undermined the popular movement calling for the Federation to be governed by corporations. Conrad Sterling, political journalist for Vox Galactica, reported on developments. Core Dynamics' recent victory in the SAO tax system dealt a severe blow to the corporatists. Many companies withdrew their support even before the last shot was fired, and plans for Jupiter Division to become the movement's central organization have been abandoned. Sighs of relief were undoubtedly breathed through the corridors of power on Mars when this threat to the Federation's democratic principles was defeated. And yet, despite Congress downplaying it and many federal news feeds neglecting to cover the story, calls for a corporatocracy have not been completely silenced. Citizens who seek an alternative to voting for either Hudson or Winters are still attracted to the idea. Would corporate rule be more honest? Opinions vary, but many supporters claim big business already possesses true power behind closed doors. It now seems that history will record this as a path not taken. With Jupiter Rochester imprisoned and Jupiter Division dissolved, replacement figureheads for the corporatist movement are unlikely to arise in time to preserve it. Guardian Thargoid battlefield discovered.
Yeah, we've heard that one. Right. Yes. All the politics. Is it better to have an apparent democracy where the real power is held by corporations and the politicians are simply bending over backwards to make things easier for one corporation over another one? Or should you simply throw up your hands and say, look, we all know who's really pulling the strings here. Let's just dissolve this pretense of a democratic civil government and just let the corporations do their thing. Now, I mean, I've fought against Jupiter Division, so you know which side my bread's buttered on, but an imperfect democracy is still better than no democracy at all, I always say. Well, I mean, just goes to show, I would have thought that maybe turning up at 4 o'clock, I mean, real world time, not game world time, obviously, would have been the right time, but people were saying, oh no, maybe come earlier. So I came as early as I could, and I'm glad, because, like you said, the planets were already kind of halfway collided by the time I was able to hop on there and drink some more of my lukewarm coffee while the last stages of this collision prise themselves apart. I think this last section of the event is probably the next most exciting part, to the very middle. All that long part where they're like almost half smushed into each other. Quite slow, but you can really see the difference in real time at the most extreme points of the sort of transection, or whatever the correct term for it is. I mean, it's not a transit, they're not passing in front of each other, literally passing through each other. I get the impression that everybody else has already left. The chat's very quiet, isn't it? Yeah, the chat's very quiet. Yeah, if I'd actually received a bounty, wouldn't there be some kind of notification somewhere? Yeah. I would hope if I didn't. Whoops, a daisy. Oh. Just angle ourselves so we can probably see when they actually really have split, which they haven't completely done yet. You can still see they're slightly still inside each other, just the outermost layers there. So I'm going to hang around until we've got genuine separation, and once we've got genuine separation, I shall conclude this live stream. But since you're here, if you would like to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, then you'll know when I'm doing any of my other videos, because I tend to do a live stream on YouTube on Sunday evenings, which is usually an Elite Dangerous live stream, and I also release recorded videos of various games, but again at the moment mainly Elite Dangerous videos on Fridays. So if you subscribe, then you will be notified if you click on the notification bell when these have appeared, and you can watch them. And they cover various different aspects of gameplay. The next few are going to be still the recorded videos are going to be mainly stuff that I recorded before Odyssey dropped, because I've still got some Horizons material that I recorded and haven't edited and put together into videos yet. Whereas live streams are obviously Odyssey. Right, I'm not sure if we've got complete separation yet. I'm just going to go back into Super Cruise so I can get around there, just get a better angle on that. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Ooh, just slightly. Oh, that stanchion's getting in the way. Get out of the way, stanchion. Oh, yeah, we've got separation. We've got separation. There you go. They've passed through each other. Alright. Oops. What am I doing? Yes, so... Yep. I just keep misspelling separation. Separation. Lovely. Let's just turn around so you can see that better. So there they go. The rhubarb and custard separate once more. I'll just get one last photograph for the archive. Oops. Keep forgetting I'm not on. There we go. Oh wait a minute. Can we get that? Thank you. Get them both in shot there. Right. Say custard. Press the right keys there. Yeah, it was just being a bit slow. Right, okay. Yeah. Right, well, thank you again for joining me for this once in however many months occurrence of I can't say once in a lifetime because I mean it's obviously going to happen regularly at some point, but you just have to. I mean they do make a partial collision fairly regularly, but if you look on the Canon website, there's an article about it. If you look on there, you see that there's a calculation in the tables, and probably with today's observations, those calculations can be made more accurate and revised, perhaps. But anyway, yeah, today's was a head-on collision, and it was the only head-on collision I remember seeing predicted. So it'll probably be a few years before that happens again. So who knows? I mean, the game might have changed considerably by the time it would next be due to happen. They might have stopped collisions from occurring in that manner where things just pass straight through each other, or they might not. Who knows? But anyway, it was what it was. So thanks very much for watching.